sponsored by Canon, and the category here is sponsored by Narrative. And the category, the wedding creative category here is sponsored by Narrative.
Culling and editing can feel like an endless grind, draining your energy and creativity. But it doesn't have to be that way. Narrative can be your creative assistant. Narrative helps you cull photo shoots twice as fast, saving you hours of editing time while you maintain control with the freedom to tweak any detail. Watch your latest shoot come to life in Lightroom with edits that feel right and keep your signature style intact. Narrative learns from your previous work, and it continues to improve the more you use it. Narrative is known for seamlessly fitting into the photographer's workflow. Plus, it works offline, so you can stay productive no matter where you are. Win back time for the creative touches you love, because a great workflow lets great work flow.
Okay, so my name is Paul Daly. I'm your panel chair, and I've got Joanna Piatek beside me as co-chair. Now we've got a lovely group of judges, but before we get into anything else, just going to read the category description. Okay, so the creative wedding category is designed to recognise and reward photographers who push the boundaries of traditional wedding photography. This category celebrates artistic expression, creative concepts and storytelling in the context of weddings and related events, such as engagement sessions, styled shoots and anniversaries. It encourages photographers to experiment with the creative themes, compositions and post-production techniques while maintaining connection with the wedding narrative. This category celebrates innovative wedding photography that goes beyond traditional moments and embraces artistic freedom and conceptual photography. It recognises photographers who creatively interpret wedding stories through unique compositions, concepts and post-production approaches while still honouring the essence and emotional connection of the wedding day and related events. This category rewards photographers who push creative boundaries while maintaining strong connection to the wedding narrative. Creative compositions, bold themes and storytelling techniques are encouraged, all while ensuring a clear link to the wedding context. The eligibility for the wedding creative category is open to images that celebrate broader aspects of the wedding related events, and including the wedding day, hen and stag parties, trash the dress sessions, engagement sessions, anniversaries, styled wedding shoots and elopements. Okay, that's a word that's going to get me. The photographs should convey a creative vision while still maintaining relevance to the wedding theme. This is a major editing category, which means that all form of post-production are allowed as long as no AI or computer-generated elements are used. Okay, so now we're going to just do a little run through of the images that we are going to see. Okay, a wonderful set of images there. We're just going to assemble our judging panel. Okay, and we'll start off with Jeremy. Jeremy, yep. Tanya. Yep. Rebecca. Tanya. Tony Carter. And Catherine Kadnack, please. Okay, are we all ready, judges? All logged in, good to go? Okay, print handlers, are we good to go? Okay, can we have the first print, please? Okay, we have a score of 90, which is a gold award. Right, so can we have a comment for the photographer? What? Hey? Oh, okay, radio, okay, sorry, didn't catch that. Was that you, Catherine? Yes, you are.
Okay, cool. Yep. Okay, I'm giving this 94 and regretting it, so thank you for letting me challenge. This is just fun all the way, well, I was going to say round the circle, round the clock maybe, I don't know, you know. You can see so much in this. You just go around and pretty much every single face, really, the photographer has kept the energy through all of those faces, which is really, really impressive. Really innovative, strong, dramatic, impact of this image when it first turns around. I actually came in, I missed this in the run-through, so this is the first time I've seen it, and just like, wow, what an awesome way to start this category. Beautiful shapes, beautiful lighting to bring out the forms and the dresses, and then just the odd use of the outflung hand, especially with that guy placed at the top there and the two tattooed arms coming up. This is really innovative, wonderful work, and I'm so pleased that we're starting on a gold and hopefully take it higher.
Okay, the two lowest are on the same number. So, Jeremy?
Yeah, I put this in silver. I scored at 82. Yeah, the concept is really great, and it's been really well executed in terms of the placement and decisions made with the individuals. The reason that I stayed down in silver was just because I found that the individuals were all just a little bit flat and lacking vibrancy. So that I really struggled with. So if you can talk me out of feeling that way or seeing that in each of the individuals, that would be helpful.
Okay. Yep, sorry. Sorry, Rebecca.
Press my button, thanks.
Yep.
I scored this a 92 gold. I'm going to go up to 96. This, to me, is a vinyl record. And it is the music of a wedding. It's the music of life at a wedding. It is the fun. It is the comedy. It is everything that you would want to play at your wedding. This is what weddings are about. And to me, it has this musical quality, and it's presented to us as a vinyl, and I just think that's absolutely brilliant. I should have been braver in the beginning, so I will be coming up to 96.
Okay. Tony?
Yeah, I was on 92. I'm going up to 97. So there you go. Jeremy, go and have a look at those faces. I can understand the flatness and the tonal sort of feel of it, but when you go through all of those faces, there's from people from very happy to very bored, mainly the guys, but the colour saturation, that iris sort of feel with the pinks and that blue pinking through works very well. I think it's printed to a really great level, and this is a superior communication, and really we're all up there quite high, the ones that were high. So, and I believe that it's definitely a gold with distinction, and I'll be on 97 with my score.
Tanya, any thoughts that you wanted to add?
Okay. Oh, yeah, I was also on 82, but Tony, when you've just mentioned the iris, that really sealed it. Thank you. I was in the record, so I'll be raising my score to gold, because you've helped me all understand it more and have time to absorb it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Catherine, back to you.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of information here to take in as you go around the circle, and I feel that this image would reward us as we hopefully see it on the wall and have a bit more time to do that. But I think that initial impact has been huge. Jeremy, you were saying there's lacking vibrancy and it's a bit flat. I kind of can't address that concern because I can't understand, I can't see it. I don't know if you're talking about the tonal range. Sorry, I'm not even touching this thing, sorry. I see enough, if it's lighting, I'm seeing enough three-dimensionality in those faces, and I'm certainly seeing the vibrancy in the expressions. Bex, I love the musical theme. I do totally agree. This image has its own soundtrack, and I love the iris thing. You can just see so much in this. This is gold distinction. Thanks.
Okay, judges, can we rescore? Okay, we have 94, Gold Award. Okay, congratulations to the photographer. Thank you, judges. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 76, which is a bronze award. Okay, can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Looking down the lane there. Tony? You.
Yeah, the colour range through here is beautiful, you know, with all that you know, those autumn tones. But you know what I really enjoy about this is the expression on the guy's face, and you know, he's definitely part of this, but she's the star of the show, and I think that's fantastic.
Okay, thank you, Tony. And can we have the next print, please? We have a score of 75, bronze award. Can I get a comment? Yeah, Catherine or Jeremy, whichever one.
The presentation and the paper are really beautiful, and the paper works really well with the stars, but unfortunately the paper was fighting against the couple, and they were really hard to see with that light shining against the paper, so I found it difficult to get right in on the action of what was happening in that moment. So sometimes it's nice just to play a little bit simpler with the paper choice, and I think that would have helped you.
Okay, thanks, Jeremy, for the comments. And can we have the next print, please? We have a score of 71. Can we get a comment for the photographer, please? Oh, Adams. Sorry, Jeremy. Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy is throwing his arms up.
Oh, this has so much potential. I'm so sorry that it didn't go higher, but I think we lost the protagonist in the last frame, and she was the hero. And I think if you had stayed on the bridesmaid throwing the veil, that probably would have taken it higher, I reckon.
Okay, thank you for the... yeah, Catherine, another comment? Yep.
Sorry, just quickly, when you're doing a series like that, the second image suddenly just drops quite low. Yeah, different horizon lines, quite distracting as well.
Okay, thank you for that, Catherine. And can we have the next print, please? We have a score of 75, which is a bronze award. Okay, a comment for the photographer. Looking down. Is that Rebecca? Yep.
Thanks, Tony. Congratulations on your bronze. Gorgeous little moment there. It's just quite heavy for a delicate moment. I think the concept is brilliant. However, the blacks, especially in that right hand and corner, just pull it back a little bit. So, but keep going with this kind of concept. You've got a lot of potential there. Well done.
Okay, thank you for the comments there. And can we have the next print, please? We have a score of 70. So can I get him? Tony.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. The oval shape really suits the subject. Just watch your blacks and you're separating the people off the background. And also the wrap is quite beautiful, but it doesn't really show any sort of energy around that. So just remember that. But, good work, and it's not far away.
Thank you for the comments. Tony, can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 75, which is a bronze award. Yeah, Catherine?
So I gave this 80 silver. I think this is really quite an original presentation, and this photographer has made a beautiful art piece for this couple. I really am enjoying the swirl of the blurry. I don't know if that's more hydrangeas at the front there, and then coming into the couple. And when you get in there, I quite like the way she's grabbing his face and kind of just pushing him up into a smooch. It's the kiss itself has a bit of personality. So yeah, the oval frame is working well for this, and I can see a few issues, but I just think this is worth rewarding the innovation here a little higher than currently. So I'd like to talk about it.
Rebecca?
I actually had this out of award range, and it was purely for her kiss going on. Looks a bit more awkward, bitey, not that embrace that I was wanting, because I would have definitely come into silver for this. I am listening and perhaps coming up to bronze.
Tony, you are on the average.
Yeah, I scored at 75, so bronze, and I find the presentation fabulous. Those circular shapes suiting everything there. I think it's quite often with weddings, she's right into it, and he's sort of like, so he's sort of feeling a little bit awkward, but I quite enjoy that about it. So I think it's definitely a bronze for me.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Looks like it might be back to you, Catherine. Yep.
Okay, I was only on an 80, and it does sound as though it might be a push to get you guys to silver, but I do encourage you to give this photograph a few more points, because, Rebecca, what you're saying, you're rating the kiss, and I know the photographer has a bit of control over that, but we're not rating her kiss here. We are rating the impact of the photo. And for me, that kiss, as I mentioned in my first comment, was one of the strengths. I felt that this had a bit of a smooch going on to it, and it had a bit of personality. So I'm reading that as a positive, and I would just like you to give this photographer more points than you have. Thanks.
Okay, let's rescore. Yep, brought it up to 76, bronze award. Okay. Okay. Next print, please. We have a score of 82, which is a silver award. And
Oh, sorry.
Catherine's has got priority. So you can both do it, but she's got priority. Yep.
Yeah. So I gave this 87 silver distinction. I think this is an exquisite wedding shot. It's got everything we want, really, doesn't it? You know, it's got the tonal range, just the mood. I should start with the mood because it's really conveying that beautiful sense of anticipation in that quiet moment before you head to the church. The light, I love that light spilling through the door onto her. You know, obviously the light on her. Well, obviously to me, the light on her is really beautiful. Her face just looks wonderful, but the light itself giving her the path to her future. The movement blur in her assistant behind her adds another dimension, and I feel that this has been really beautifully printed. So, yeah, let's have a chat.
Tanya, you're at the lower end of things.
Yeah, I was on 74. I wanted to award this image. It was just the fact that the bride isn't sharp, and maybe that's intentional, but it felt like it was an in-between. Like the bridesmaid is clearly there's movement, but with her, it didn't feel sharp to me. Because other than that, the concept and capture is really stunning.
Tony?
Sharp enough for me. I scored at 86, and I just get the feels from this image, and just that softness running through it is quite beautiful, and that dreamlike quality of it. I think you just get the real mood of this, and that highlight on the dress is superbly handled, and the dad looking in on the side. So you just got that real sense of communication, time and place, and that that little thought before you walk down the aisle or whatever. But I'm happy with my score of 86 for this.
Any other thoughts? Okay, back to you, Catherine.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony. I think you put that beautifully. It really is exquisite. It's plenty sharp enough for me as well. I went in and I think that face is perfectly sharp. It's a soft moment. If there's any movement in your dress, I'm not seeing it, but I think that fits with the feeling of this anyway. This is a completely timeless image that, as you say, has all the feels, which is really what you've got to ask for in a wedding image. It's great work.
Okay, let's rescore. Alrighty, 85, still with the distinction. Congratulations to the photographer. Thank you to the judges. And next print, please. We have a score of 72. Okay, can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Yeah, Tony?
The composition of this, I think, is very good and simplistic, but just watch what's in focus and what's out of focus, and with the hand sort of and the colorations, it sort of takes you a while to get to that ring sitting there. But definitely, you know, a great concept, and keep working on it.
Okay, thank you for the comments there, Tony. And next print, please. We have a score of 77, which is a bronze award. Can I get a comment for the photographer? Yeah, Catherine?
This is a really cool image. Congratulations on your bronze. Striking idea with the panorama crop and the silhouette, I think, is working really well. In order to elevate it, I feel like some of the individual silhouettes could really have been stronger. Some of them are quite confusing, and so the first one, for example, if you look at it out of context, it's not clear that that's even a fist, and then the second woman from the right sort of has a bouquet sprouting out of her head. Because, you know, in this category you can do the composite, so I just sort of feel that there might have been some better ones, and if they were put together, this could have really lifted this higher.
Okay, thank you for the comments, Catherine. Can we have a blank screen, please? Okay, just going to do a little judge change. Tony, take a break. Johan, if you can come in. And can we swap our Catherines, please? Good to go. Okay, can we have the next print, please? We have a score of 75, which is a bronze award. Okay, can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Oh, yeah, Catherine.
The beautiful little moment here. The bride's really radiant in that left photo. The sort of expression of the child is getting lost just a little bit. I would love to sort of hone in on those expressions. The colour saturation is quite high in this, and it's actually sort of taking away a little bit from the moment that's happening between them.
Thank you, Catherine, for the comments. And can we have the next print, please? We have a score of 75, which is a bronze award. Can I get a comment? Oh, yeah, Johan.
Right. Congratulations on your bronze. That's awesome. I think it could have been elevated if the bride and groom had been elevated onto the foreground rocks. They kind of get lost into the background. And if you did elevate them onto the rocks, you just want to be super careful that you don't run a horizon through their heads. But congratulations and thank you.
Okay, thank you for the comments there, Johan. And can we have the next print, please? Right, we have an initial score of 88, silver distinction. And Rebecca, you have priority, but either of you can do it.
I scored this 95, gold with distinction. This is a timeless, beautiful, intricate, sad storytelling piece in the wedding creative category that her eyes are so sad to me. And apart from the insane detail and the softness and all of the aesthetic, her eyes, does she want to get married? Does she want to be there? Is this the right choice? Is this her future that she really wants to be part of? Is this forced? There's so many questions through her expression that I think are worth talking about. Apart from the fact that the paper choice and the presentation to us, she's looking to the left, you know, it's unusual as well. It's taking your eye sort of backwards, which is another sort of reference to time, back to her perhaps childhood, her life that was. There's a lot in there, and I think it is worth a discussion. I would love to hear your thoughts.
Tanya, you're at the lower end of things.
Sounds like it. I was really captivated by the beautiful details in this image and the way it's presented to us, with the beautiful printing and paper choice. I think it's just that I couldn't see her arms, which obviously she's got the veil, and I guess that was just the only thing that held it back. However, I will keep listening because it sounds like that that I've missed the boat here.
Johan?
It's not often that I disagree with a fellow golder, but I will. Not often that you get the right bride with the right dress, with the right photographer, with the creative talent to bring us something so serene, so unquestionably beautiful and graceful and quiet. I see no sadness whatsoever. I see solemn, and I see a quiet, thoughtful presentation. I see beautiful tonality, I see beautiful control, fantastic paper. I love the line that comes down and just connects briefly with the pupil of the bride, making you look and stop there, and then you wonder where she's looking. So it creates a point of interest. I love the gap in the veil where you get to see that beautiful and stunning detail in her bodice. I just don't want to keep on going, but I do, but I'm not going to, but it's 93 for me at least.
Any other thoughts? No? Okay, it looks like it's back to you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Johan. I think you have brought a completely different view to what I saw, but we can both agree how incredible the communication is, just out of this world, however you look at it, and the fact that there is different ways of taking this in is another incredible part of this portrait. And I would encourage you all to come up with me.
Okay, judges, please rescore. Okay, 92, gold. Congratulations to the photographer. Thank you for the judging there. And can we have the next print, please? Okay, we've got a score of 75, which is a bronze award. Yes, Catherine. Sorry, Rebecca.
I might be out on a limb here. I was so pleased I'm on the panel to judge this. It just sits really well with me. I think the blur of a wedding day, isn't that just the truth? It just goes by. It is a blur, but within the blur there's the beauty. The shapes in this just have got such a softness. It doesn't have to be in focus. You don't have to see the face. We know what this is. It's kind of mannequin-y. There's so much that I love about this. But I might be pushing it to get it up to silver with distinction, which I got in 85, but even up into a silver, and just to kind of sit with it a little bit longer and to appreciate those shapes and appreciate that analogy of that blur of the wedding day, and how the photographer has brought that to us. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Tanya, the other end of things?
Yeah, I scored this out of award range. Not against blur at all. It just felt like I was drawn too much to the shoulders and the dark of the shoulders, and I appreciated the dress, the shape of the dress, but for me, it didn't come together.
Johan? Okay, right. Scratch that, Johan. Something from down the other end there, Jeremy?
Yeah, I think I agree with you somewhat, Rebecca, but I think just the dark parts of it really draw and hold me out of what I feel like I should be looking at. And then there's just a lot of negative white space on the right-hand side. I just felt conflicted, and I wasn't held in the moment, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Catherine. Jeez. Rebecca, sorry.
Bit of a hard push here. A few more points would be amazing. Every point counts, and an unusual and interesting capture.
Okay, let's rescore. Okay, 75, bronze award. Rightio, let's just have a blank screen for a moment. Okay, blank screen. Okay, right. Okay, Tanya, you can take a break, and Stacey, if you come on in, and Jeremy, if you take a break, and Matt, can you come in? Okay, next print, please. We have a score of 78, which is a bronze award. Can I get a comment for the photographer? Johan's looking at me.
Yeah, so congratulations on your bronze. Probably would have been a little bit stronger if around the base it hadn't been so bright at the bottom of the bride's dress. But what I love is that fantastic rim lighting around the bride and groom, particularly in their top half.
Okay, thank you for those comments, Johan. And can we have the next print, please? We have a score of 72. Can I have a comment for the photographer, please? Okay. Catherine? Oh, Matt. Matt's got his hand out. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, I really enjoyed a photographer taking the time to include the full family and the Fur family in the wedding day. You've got a little bit of connection with the couple in that they've got their hands held in the background, but I feel like the oval aperture that we're looking at the image through actually cuts them off a little bit, and perhaps the full shot may have included more of that connection between the two subjects.
Okay, thank you for the comment there, Matt. And next print, please. We have a score of 74. Can I... Catherine? You want to challenge that?
Yep.
Yep.
I gave it 78, so I've given it a bronze. I got the essence of this couple having a low-key, down-to-earth neighbourhood wedding. And they are, going walkabout, drink in hand. Really, I've rewarded it for the feeling I get of the relaxed nature of this couple and the journey they're taking me on. I am held back by that bottom image. I feel that the top three are stronger and they tell the story in a more complete way. I would have gone higher without that bottom one, but I do still get the feels from this. So I'm interested to hear. It's on 74, one more point. Interested to hear what you think.
Okay, pass the mic to Matt.
Yeah, I was on 72. I would have liked to have more understanding of the connection between the couple and the places that they're walking past. If it had been the favourite parts of theirs, like the local park in their neighbourhood, or even their own home, I feel like that would have strengthened that connection. But the two different houses and also the obscured face in the second panel put me off a little bit from going into that bronze range. I do think the bride's expression in the last panel, as much as you say it's the weaker panel, it is a lovely expression that's been captured though.
Johan?
A possible narrative is that's not the groom, but an escort of some form. But let's say it is the groom, and let's say there's something in here that we don't know, like is that perhaps her house that they're walking past in the second image and his house they're walking past in the third image, and then the location of the fourth image might be where they're going to be. It's a bit tipsy because to finish the wine, perhaps, and that might be a deliberate thing by the photographer. I've given it a 74. I could squeak over. Yeah, just for that narrative.
Okay, any other thoughts? Okay, Catherine, back to you.
I like Johan's story enough to just ask you to give it just a tiny bit more.
Alrighty, let's rescore. All right, 76, bronze award. Nice work, congratulations to the photographer. Can we just have a blank screen for a moment? Rebecca, take a break. Nicola, come on in. Okay, all good to go. Okay, can we have the next print, please? Okay, we got a score of 91, gold award. Johan, you have the numbers.
Yeah, I gave this a 98. Oh my goodness. If there was a meaning for sublime, it would be this photograph. the grace, the beauty, the symbolism, the coloration, everything about it is particularly stunning. That love is blind, graceful and beautiful. That it is gendered by having pink on one side, blue on the other side, but not in a way that it's slapped in your face. It's a way that's poetic and just stunning. I would like to know if there's anything that anybody can find wrong, because there is just so much beauty. Speak to me.
Stacey, you're on the lower end of things.
I'm really, really glad that you've brought this up to discuss, because I too think it's absolutely stunning. I was really excited by this in the run through. I initially struggled a little bit with the story, but as soon as I, sat here, yeah, love is blind. I get that. I was partly held back. I felt like there was a little bit more focus, or a crisper focus on the flowers on the head of the bride. And the flowers on the head of the groom were just a little bit softer, and that was a little bit jarring for me. But I'm being really picky because I do absolutely love it. The tonal palette is just beautiful and soft, and I will certainly be coming up into a gold range.
Catherine?
I was on 97. Heart-stoppingly, jaw-droppingly gorgeous. All of the stories that Johan has brought to this, and it's packed with feeling. I mean, it's exquisite in every way imaginable. I think that the sharpness of the flowers is just not relevant. I just feel that all the detail is there, but there's so much softness, and the way the faces are framed, and you're drawn to them, and you're eased to them in a gentle way through all the tones that are presented to us. I love also the way that they almost look like cake toppers as well, with the explosion of that bouquet above them. All the colour harmony is absolute perfection, and I can feel this couple as artistic, creative people. I feel that they have been portrayed in this way that has brought them to these portraits in the most innovative way. I just think they're exquisite as a duo. The presentation, everything is perfect, and super contemporary. I'm on 97, and because I really did want to beat Johan with my score, I now can. And I'd encourage others to consider doing that too.
Any other comments to add? No? Okay, it looks like it's back to you, Johan.
There is so much restraint in this image. There is so much thought in this image. And there's a lot of stuff that I think we'll regret not having thought about in this moment, once we get a time to see it up on a wall somewhere or somewhere else. But I'd like to bring a few more things to your attention so that the number just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The pink goes from a dark to a light. It ends, or it leads us to the groom. It leads us, in fact, to the top of the groom in a way. On its way, it passes the bride, but without ignoring her, it leads us into the groom, and then on the groom's side, there's a channel that takes us down through the flowers to his face, and that look of peace on his face converts to happiness. The wonderful thing that the photographer has done is the pink has no texture. It is clean. It is like her skin. It's very soft and gentle. The blue has a slight texture through it. It's more masculine. It's more fitting, but it's not conflicting with the pink at all. In fact, they tone together so incredibly well. You know what I want. Go for it.
Okay,
With joy.
judges, let's rescore. $97, gold distinction. Congratulations to the photographer. Thank you for the judges' input on all that. Just take a breath. And next print, please. We have a score of 85, silver distinction. Stacey, you would like to challenge?
I would love to challenge this one. I love this. This is just such a beautiful little moment that's been captured. There's so many things. There's so much joy on everybody's faces. It feels really genuine. And the fact, it feels like we are almost being voyeurs on a little secret scene that shouldn't really be happening. So as a wedding photographer, when you go there and you tell everybody don't take photos of the bride, that's the photographer's job, and yet somebody has the groomsman, the dad, the partner, whoever is taking a secret little shot of the bride with the bridesmaid looking up in absolute awe, and everybody looks so joyful and so happy, and the photographer has caught this moment, and or whether they've caught the moment or whether they've set the moment up, I don't know, but it just feels incredibly joyful and incredibly real and genuine, and I think we really need to celebrate this for this photographer. 94.
Okay, other end of scoring, Matt.
Yeah, I was rewarding those beautiful, authentic expressions as well. In the silver, I just felt like in this particular print, the light falling off the bouquet onto the bride's arm, I found quite distracting. It creates quite a bulk of darkness on that arm, and also the way that her hand's holding the bouquet amplifies that. But I could potentially overlook that to some extent.
Okay. Johan, yep.
I gave this a silver, and I'm happy for it to get a silver. I believe that's her father, perhaps, because we can't make assumptions, though. Not so sure about the cheekiness of it. I'm just seeing somebody taking a photograph, somebody who cares, though, and I feel that the photographer has witnessed this and made the right choice in taking the photograph at exactly the right moment when the flash has gone off. The vertical lines on the sides do give it a sense of voyeurism, but they actually truncate the image not appropriately. They don't actually complement the image. I absolutely love the expression of the young girl. I'm with you on the shadow with the flowers. And she and the bride looks so happy, and what a great capture for that. I'm very worthy of a silver.
Okay, anything else to add? No, it looks like it's back to you, Stacey.
Okay.
Okay, so a few things to address there. The person who's taking the photograph is obviously using a flash, and they're potentially not a professional photographer, and so there's going to be shadows that fall from the hands and the bouquet. And I just think that's kind of something that's unavoidable because they're using that direct straight on flash. It does leave the skin on the arm feeling a little bit muddy, but again, this feels to me like a real genuine moment that's been captured, as you said, Johan, with perfect timing when the flash goes off, which is incredible, absolutely incredible. And the pillars down the side, again, just really, I realised that they kind of shrink the scene in a little bit, but they also really add to me to the fact that this is a naughty little moment. You know, I've taken the bride off to capture this photo when I'm not really supposed to because there's a professional photographer here. And I just think that really adds to that lovely narrative there. So, okay, the lighting isn't perfect. But like I said, the photographer themselves isn't actually lighting the photo. It's the amateur. It's the Uncle Bob with the camera. So I think it's a lovely little candid moment, and we really need to reward the timing and the joyfulness and the honesty of this moment. And even if you can't bring it into a gold, at least bring it up into a silver with distinction.
Okay, it is already silver distinction, but we'll see. Okay. Let's rescore. Okay, you solidified it. 87, silver distinction. Okay, thank you for that. Every point counts. So, can we have the next print, please? We have a score of 73. So, can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Looking down the line. Johan, thank you.
Thank you for entering the awards and presenting the image for us. I think the triptych across the top, the images are a little bit indistinct, so we can kind of get the sense of getting ready, but I feel there's perhaps an intensity in those moments that could have been emphasized by having bigger frames. So think about that and think about focusing our attention as judges onto where you want us to look and not perhaps cropping so tightly through things.
Okay, thank you for the comments there, Johan. And can we have the next print, please? We have a score of 74. Okay, can I get a comment for the photographer? Yep, Matt.
The photographers framed the couple in this architecture beautifully, and feels very elegant. The expressions on the couple are great. It just feels a little bit underlit. So powering your light up more or capturing more of that ambient light, whichever light source you're using, just to make them a bit more lighter and vibrant.
Okay, Matt, thank you for the comments. And can we have the next print, please? We have a score of 82, which is a silver award. Johan, you'd like to challenge that?
Yeah, I gave
Okay.
this an 87. I'll talk to you about my objection first, which is the use of the text overlaid onto the signing document. It completes the story, and it's heartrending. It's an obituary, and it makes you understand the rest of the image. I'm not completely in agreement with the way it was laid out like that and the way it was given to us so almost obviously. However, when you have that piece of information, and I'm trying to think in my head of a better way for that to have been presented, and I can't. So when you have that piece of information, the value of each of those single images skyrockets. It gets cosmic in the importance and the significance of all these connections, all this involvement, all of this engagement, and all of this feeling. And you understand what each of the photographs is about. So I gave this an 87 on the merit of the strength of the other images. I probably wouldn't have understood them as much if I didn't have the text. So I needed something, and this is what we got. And I just feel this thoroughly, and it just reinforces the importance of what we do as wedding photographers, as all photographers.
Matt, at the other end?
I feel like Johan tried to address my comment before I even made it. Perhaps I feel a better way of ending it could have just been the simplicity of photographing the text and just showing us that. I feel quite awkward about having the mother signing her own obituary, which is also the marriage certificate or marriage documentation. It feels like a little bit of a thematic clash in that space. You're right though, the storytelling is powerful. I do feel that the images are in themselves quite typical of a wedding day, but I respect that the photographer has pulled them together and made sure to capture all of those important moments. So I'm in bronze. I might be open to silver, but I really feel like that last panel isn't quite where it needs to be.
Stacey.
I'm in support of this image, Johan. I too agree that the last image is confusing and possibly not even needed. But when I look at the other images, it's such a celebration of this lady, and the lighting is beautiful. It's been processed beautifully. Everything is sharp where it should be sharp. They're just really nice images that have clean and tidy. And what I love seeing is how involved this woman has been in the wedding. So from, you know, being the ring bearer to the speeches to the signing of the marriage certificate, they have made every single effort to include her in this wedding, knowing that potentially she wouldn't be there for much longer. And I can just, well, they knew she wouldn't be there much longer. You can see from that bottom middle image, the lady in the blues, her expression is just kills me. So yeah, I'm in support of this image for the celebration that it provides of this beautiful lady's life.
Any other thoughts? Okay. Yep. Catherine, quickly.
I was on 82 and I wasn't coming up, but I think I changed my mind. Stacey, you said it's about this lady, and it's almost not. It's about the adoration of her by those who surround her. So it's more about their love for her rather than her. And there were things that I was struggling with in terms of the individual captures and the layouts and things like that. But it is just filled with love. And the pieces that I saw when I came back and had another look, it was just the consistency of the embrace, the consistency of the touch, the hands on the shoulders, the hands on the lapel, the holding hands. And yeah, I was struggling with that last image, but I'm going to forgive it and come up with you guys.
Okay, I think it's back to you, Johan.
I really don't want to overspeak this, so vote with your heart and not your head.
Okay, let's rescore. '85, silver distinction. Okay. Thank you, judges. Congratulations to the photographer. And can we have the next print, please? We have a score of 80, which is a silver award. Can I get a comment for, yeah, Catherine?
This is so fun and such a great story, and congratulations on your silver. Yeah, love what's going on with the bridesmaids and the groomsmen who aren't really interested in anything. But Bear, there is a couple of technical things that I spot on here. There's a couple of spots in the sky on the right-hand side, and just above the horizon on the left-hand side, it's sort of whiting out a little bit. You know, and you could maybe just ease back ever so slightly on the sky. But it's super successful, and just going a little bit more gently with the finishing could go even better.
Thank you, Catherine, for the comments. Blank screen just for a moment. And Johan, you can take a break. Tony, come on in. Okay, next print, please. Currently have an initial score of 84, which is a silver award. Tony would like to have a talk about that.
I scored at 91. The subtle beauty of this, the soft muted tones, the tension in the arms, the beautiful lipstick shining through, the ruffles in the dress and the veil. It's sort of quite messy but still has an order to it. You can sort of just get that dreamlike state, the colour of the blues running through her clothing and through the background, or the colours all just balancing in there. But there's a soft beauty and a sense of purpose with this person, and you can sort of see with her clothing, they're quite finely detailed, and there's lots of thin lines. But I just think it makes you feel when you look at it. So it feels quite contemporary. It's not trying real hard, and I just think it's just got a real subtle beauty with elegance. You know, I thought, as well as print quality, all those things that you'd expect in a gold.
Catherine?
Yeah, I was on 78, and I loved it back here, and I went up there, and I didn't see the print quality that you're seeing in this. I see sort of a bit of muddy murkiness and not sort of the softness that I was anticipating, and sort of it's greening out on the bottom left through the dress and the arm. Absolutely agree with you about the lips. That was, you know, the beautiful lips just popping through there. Absolutely stunning. I felt like I wanted her to turn a little bit more because my eye just keeps going to her ear. I do think there's still some beautiful qualities in there that I'm probably not recognising enough. So I will review my score, but just not into the same range that you're in.
Thoughts from the middle ground, Nicola?
Yeah, I really love this image as well. I love the serene look on her face. I was a little bit bothered by the little crossover on the lips, but I guess it is them sort of peeking out a little bit, and it's probably the most coloured part of the image. I love the texture and tone and just the style of it all. I'm happy to shift my score up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, Matt?
Yeah, just quickly, I want to say that I feel that the whole image is about peeking through and getting that pop of red off the lips, so I'm fully in support of that aspect of the image.
Okay. Any other thoughts? No. Back to you, Tony. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to read what some of you are going to change your score to, but I guess I'm still asking for gold. Catherine, I do see what you're saying about the lighting through there. It's sort of got a muted sort of muddy tone, but I sort of find that quite engaging with the expression and how it works. I go to those lips first, and I don't really find that her ear a problem at all leading through there. I think because it's all about the soft, beautiful features of her lips, and that gives it that real femininity and beauty. Come up as high as you can. I'm still happy with my 91.
Okay, judges, let's rescore. Okay, you brought it up to 87, so with distinction. Okay, congratulations to the photographer. Just hold on a sec. Blank screen. Yep. Okay, so Stacey, if you'd like to take a break, and Catherine Katanak can come in, and Catherine, if you want to take a break as well, we're going to, Rebecca, where are you? Okay. I'm keeping things easy on myself by only having one Catherine on at a time. Okay, right, we're all good to go. Next print, please. Okay, we've got a score of 80, which is a silver award. Okay, thank you very much for that. And oh, yep, sorry, yes. Can I have a comment for the photographer, please? Yep, go Nick.
Yeah, it's a really nice series of images. You can see he's playing it tough in that first shot, and then he just loses it. Like a lot of grooms say, they're never going to cry, and then they lose it. But really nice storytelling, good balance of images. Maybe just come in a bit closer with some of those shots. There's just a couple of wee distracting things on the sides there. But really nice series of images.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, and we are just about to have our digital changeover, so we're waiting for honours to come in and see how quickly they can do it this time. It was faster than a Formula One pit stop last time. Maybe not so much this time. How we're tracking? Okay, rightio, let's go. We're on our first digital image. So, okay, Okay, we've got a score of 72. Yeah, do you want to challenge that, Catherine? Okay.
I gave this a 78. I'd really like to see this awarded. I think this is a really, really beautiful shot of a beautiful venue. Great use of light, and you come in there and you sort of see the stage set for the celebrations in the centre. There are no people in it. That doesn't really bother me. You know, obviously we're not going to be talking emotion here, but what a lovely, lovely image that this photographer has caught for the album for this couple, and just to celebrate this gorgeous venue that they've chosen. And yeah, can we just talk about it a little?
Tony.
Yeah, I scored at 66. I guess I didn't see it the same way as you, Catherine. I found the light quite sort of overpowering, and I guess not hitting the right things in the room that are of value and make it all about a wedding. So I found my eye sort of searching around a wee bit. So I might take a little bit more convincing to get it up to the score that you've got, but I will listen to what my fellow judges have to say as well.
Okay, everybody else is on the same score. Matt? Yep.
I feel like the hero of this image is meant to be the table with the bridal decorations and that kind of thing. But then you're obscured from that by the foreground elements, which I do agree creates a beautiful atmosphere in terms of the room, but I feel like there's just so many different elements that are dramatic but don't support the table or the hero itself. Especially the light flare as well, seeing the different lens elements in that flare, I don't think particularly contributes to the feeling of that table. My advice would be potentially doing a tighter crop and embracing some of that beautiful rustic furniture that's directly behind it.
Okay, any other comments? Looks like it's back to you, Catherine.
Okay, so for me, the photographer's created a bit of magic with this light, although I do hear what you're saying about it's falling on those foreground elements. I found the table in the end, you know, because it's so bright in there, but I do completely take on board what you're saying, and I just hope the photographer is happy to see that somebody saw the magic in there and, yeah, thought it was worthy an award.
Okay, let's rescore. Okay, 72. Thank you. Good conversation anyway. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 75, which is a bronze award. Can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Yeah, Tony?
Yeah, congratulations on your bronze. The way you've posed these people centrally is fantastic, so you're sort of drawn into them. But when you do get to them, they lack any real connection. So just remember to, you get all the elements right. Make sure you find a way of getting them to show a bit of love towards each other in some sort of more passionate way than what we're seeing at the moment.
Okay, thank you for the comments there, Tony. And can we have the next image, please? Okay, we have a score of 75, which is a bronze award. Can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Yep. Okay, go, Nicola.
Yeah, I think this is just a nice little pre-wedding celebration with your girls. Pretty classic shot. Love the symmetry. Just a couple of things, frame coming through the head, maybe adjust your angle there. But yeah, I think it's nicely handled. Yeah, nicely shot.
Okay, thank you for the comments. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 69. So, yep, Matt, comment, please.
Yeah, a beautiful grand landscape. The couple are placed within there. I particularly like the detail of the animals that seem to be in kind of obscure couples as well, just to mirror that idea. But it's just unfortunate that it seems to be a bit back focused behind the couple, so you're not getting that beautiful detail in the couple themselves.
Okay, thanks for the comments there, Matt. And actually, just whilst we're at this point, if you can take a break, Matt and Jeremy. Thank you. Okay, can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 70. So can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Looking down the line there, Rebecca.
Yeah, some great emotion in this image. Well done there. I actually just can't see what their expressions are about, and I'm really sorry I missed that. There's also sort of the line of the horizon straight through everyone's neck at the back, which is a little bit distracting. So yeah, just a little bit more on the narrative would be good.
Okay, thank you for the comments there. And can we have the next print image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 77, which is a bronze award. You're going to challenge that? Okay, go Catherine.
feel I should. I gave this 82 silver. I'm really, really believing this image, and I think it's been beautifully handled. You just get in there, and there is so much love and connection in this couple, and I'm feeling that same connection flowing through into the body language. It's kind of elegant with that hand draped over his shoulder. You're seeing the details of the nails, but really, I love the light. I love the rim lighting, and just the believability and the honesty of this. And it's a beautiful setting, yeah, beautiful light. So, yeah.
Jeremy, thoughts at the other end of the scoring?
Yeah, I was just short of bronze. I agree, Catherine. I'm just looking for something a little bit more to elevate it into award category. So if you can speak to that a little bit more for me, that might help.
Rebecca, thoughts from the middle?
Yeah, I put this as 78 bronze. Absolutely, that connection is just so genuine and what a wedding is about. There's just these highlights at the top of your head that just sort of make this bubble that takes you out of the image, and I just feel the background is quite heavy for just such a delicate moment. A vertical crop or a smaller, more intimate crop, I think would just really lift this image, but really happy to sit there in that solid bronze.
Okay, any other thoughts? Back to you, Catherine.
I agree there's not innovation necessarily in this, but I don't believe we have to have innovation to get something into silver when it's just been beautifully handled and it's got that emotional content, which I really believe this has. I feel that the crop is working really well, and I feel like if you went portrait crop on it, you would really be emphasising what you're seeing as bubbles in the head. Yes, there's a highlight sort of intersecting with the head, but you've still got the beautiful rim lighting there. And yeah, I guess my main point is, I know we have seen this before, but I think it's been really beautifully done. And for me, it's, what is Catherine saying? Well, it's got the feels. I've got the feels. So.
Okay, let's rescore, judges. All right, brought it up to 78, bronze award. Okay. Thank you, judges. Congratulations to the photographer. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 74. Can I get a comment? Yeah, Tony?
Yeah, so close to being awarded, which would have been awarded for the beautiful expressions and the connection, but with the lens selection being so close, the camera being so close to the guy, it's sort of really making his body look huge and his head small, so you're sort of not getting that. The first thing you see is his tie and his shirt rather than his expression. So just think about that.
Okay, thank you for the feedback there. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 73. Okay, so can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Looking down the line. Tony? Yep, thank you.
Yeah, it's so close to an award with that beautiful line of people and you see the great expressions, but then it sort of goes out to the blur and you get lost in that. It doesn't seem to make any sense that some of them people will be out of focus like that when you can see such beautiful connection in faces.
Okay, thank you for the comments there, Tony. Just a brief pause. Nicola, you take a break. Tania, you about? Okay, next image, please. We have a score of 65. So can we get a Rebecca, comment for the photographer?
What a stunning location, soft light there. I'd just love to see the foreground in focus. I just feel that it's a lost opportunity, and just that separation as well with the, just work on the separation between the foreground and the background. There's just that, the flowers intersecting with the horizon there. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you for the comments. And next image, please. Okay, we've got a score of 73. So can I get a comment for the photographer? Jeremy, I'm looking down the end there.
Yeah, I think this is very close to being awarded, and I think it was close to being a great shot in terms of some of the difficulties that you're faced with there. I think they're a little bit lost in that white cloud dropping down, so I think timing was everything on that moment. And I think if you had have captured them in a bit more of an intimate moment, that might have helped as well.
Okay, thank you for the comments, Ed. And can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 74. Jeremy?
Yeah, let's have a chat. I scored this 82. I think the moment is perfect. It's been well captured. The hands coming in from the flanks. It should be about the bride and groom, but it kind of feels like it's just about the celebrant. But the phone is perfectly in focus, and you can see the expression of the celebrant in there with the bride and groom in the background. So it feels just like I'm looking through an inception moment through to this tiny little bit that I want to zoom into to get all the action from that shot versus the photographer's shot. So I think the skill to get that in focus at the right time was well seen and well executed, and I think it should be rewarded. The photographer was looking for something a little bit different and didn't wait for the moment that most of us would expect. So I think we should reward the photographer for this.
Tony.
Yeah, I scored it 69. I guess them capturing themselves on their cell phones, fine. But what I find is that it takes me a while to work my way around to that. The hands coming in from the sides, work to get you in there, but I just sort of found it was more about the texture in the guy's hair and her dress, because it just takes you a while to work your way through all of these details to get to those smiles on that cell phone. So that's what kept me out of the award range.
Tanya? Yep.
Yeah, I scored this in the award range at 76, and I appreciate the documentary style of capturing this era of it's all about the selfies. It's kind of like when bands play these days, they turn around and they capture the crowd, and it's really just a reference to this is how it is these days. And I think it's quite humorous, and I enjoy that narrative.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay, might be back to you, Jeremy.
Thank you for that support, Tony. I think the leading hands actually help. The fingers down the bottom left corner and the hands coming in from the right, leading up to their hair, which their faces are looking at the phone, and the phone is capturing the moment. So, 2% of this image is holding what is quite poignant about this moment, but everything else helps you move to that little tiny, I want to zoom in, I want to just get my two fingers and zoom in on that frame. And I wonder if there's a lot more detail in there than we can see. But I think, the timing of getting it and getting it in focus, I think is worth rewarding them to, at least get them into bronze. I know I'm pushing it up a hill to get it into silver, but I think it's worth rewarding.
Okay, let's rescore, judges. Okay, you've done it. 77, bronze award. Okay. Congratulations to the photographer. Thank you, judges. And next image, please. We have a score of 77, which is a bronze award. Jeremy? Yep. Challenging?
Congratulations on your bronze. I scored this 83, so I scored it a pretty solid silver. There are some challenges with this image that I really wanted to move through and get to the poignant information of this image. The flatness of it was a challenge, and I think maybe that's what most of us were struggling with. And then I was looking at the bride's hair and how flat it is and lacking detail. But then when I got through to the gentleman's face and saw the tears, they're pretty crisp, and there's a nice bit of contrast in both the tear running down his cheek and the one dripping from his other eye. And it took me a while to find my way into that moment, but that's where the juice is on this image. I think that little moment that he's having with his daughter and those tears probably say a lot about their relationship. And I think it's worth rewarding this image for the emotion that he is expressing and the way that it's being captured and presented.
Tania from the lower end.
Yeah, I was just out of award range on 74. I was really drawn in by the emotion of the dad, and that was powerful. It's just that there's focus on the face and also focus on his hand, yet the woman is not in focus at all. So it feels a bit incongruent there. So it's just the production side of the image that has let it down for me.
Yeah, go Tony.
Yeah, I was on 74, and I felt that the photographer who took this should be getting us to look at what they want us to, which should be the tears, but yet we have to run around this circular, it's the circle to work our way in to get there to find what's important. So I think they've sort of missed the plot a wee bit there, and also with his buttonhole, it looks like they're holding the flower there, like with the hand, like it. So there's so many things that you have to work your way around to get to it, that to me it's just not quite it. You know, they've missed what we should be looking at. They've made us do a lot of work to get to something which is beautiful at the end, but I think that we've had to work too hard to get to there.
Okay, any other thoughts? Sorry.
There's a couple of things that I relate to from being a wedding photographer, and one is that I always threw caution to the wind and tried to shoot in the shallowest depth of field I possibly could to see if I could nail it, and I would test myself all the time, and I would miss a lot of the time. And when I see some of the things that you're talking about in here in terms of depth of field or the softness of the bride, I think it's not important that we have clarity or focus on her, because it's more about him. And the focus on the tears is what we need. I can move past the circle. The circle's not an issue for me. And just to address the buttonhole, one of the things that I became an expert at when I was shooting weddings was the buttonhole. I was the guy that would always do the lapel flower. And sometimes it wasn't perfect. And I can tell that is actually sitting on his lapel with the disappearance of some of the pins. So that's not an issue for me as well. So there's a reality to this that I can accept, and I can move past the presentation of the circle, because I can find my way to the tear. And you could see the tear running down his cheek really clearly. And I think it's worth rewarding this photographer with a couple of extra points. If you can't get it into silver, give them a high bronze.
Okay, let's rescore. You brought it up a point, 78, bronze award. Every point counts. Thank you. Okay. Go for the next image, please. We have a score of 76, which is a bronze award. Can we get a comment for the photographer, please? Catherine? Yep.
Yep, well done on your bronze. This is a really beautiful image, beautiful time of day to be shooting. And I'm really appreciating how the couple is posed and how the negative space between them makes a love heart. I guess to elevate the image, maybe I think they could have just been a little closer so you could also sort of really feel that connection. But so somebody else might have some more constructive criticism on that one. But I just feel that this is a really strong image, very much award worthy, so well done.
Okay, thank you for the comments, Catherine. Okay, and just a small break for a moment. Tony can take a few minutes, and Johan, come on. Okay, next image, please. Okay, we've got a score of 75, which is a bronze award. Can I get, yeah, Catherine?
Well done on your bronze. There's a lot of innovation and playing going on here with textures and double exposures. I think just be a little bit careful with how you're lining things up. For me, she's got a large white shape coming out of her nose, and that's holding it down for me.
Okay, thank you for the comments there, Catherine. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 75, which is a bronze award. A comment for the Johan?
Yeah. There's a congratulations on your bronze. That's awesome. Good idea doing this in black and white, because then you get to appreciate the tonality of it. Good control over the bright highlights as well. So some kudos there. I just wish the groom was more somehow excited or happy or involved or engaged, and it would have been perhaps up another tier.
Okay, thank you for the comments there, Johan. And next image, please. We have a score of 77, which is a bronze award. Okay, a comment for the photographer, looking down the line. Looks like it's you, Johan.
A clever and innovative idea. Very interesting pattern to look at. And I think because this is a wedding photograph as well, the connection between the couple should have been stronger and held equal strength around the stars. Some elements are really good and others just are there because they're there. But strong design and yeah, good work in the creative category.
Thank you, Johan, for the comments. And we're just going to do a small change. Rebecca, take a break. And Stacey, come on in. Okay, we're all good to go. Next image, please. We have an initial score of 92 gold award. And Johan, yes, you do have the highest score. So you can challenge.
I gave this a 96. What a wonderful photograph of the wedding mafia. These guys look dangerous. So often you see photographs of groomsmen that are not as engaged as this. They're not as strong individually within the image. And each of these individuals is very, very present, incredibly well lit. Even the guy in the frame. I love the mess around the floor. This feels like it's in a winery, the barrels, the wine bottles. So the things that are there belong. Really good control of the highlights through the ceiling. It's pretty good, like flawless-like. I know, flawless-like. That's how good. Yeah. I was being ironic, really. But yeah, I gave it a 96. I can't see anything wrong with it, but maybe somebody will tell me.
Okay, so I mean, like the lowest score was Jeremy. Not that it was super low.
Yeah, I caned it at 87. What a terrible score. Yeah, I agree with most of the things that you said, Johan. I don't see gruffness. I think that maybe the gentlemen are mirroring the fellow in the frame, and maybe he's the patriarch of this family who recently passed away, or he was the one that started the vineyard. These are all the guys that work at the vineyards. They, stole a moment to go and capture this photo. But the photographer's done an amazing job. The lighting on all their faces is like superb, and yeah, I can only imagine how you pulled this together. And I can't imagine it's from those lights above. So great job. There are a few issues in the darks, though. I'm seeing some artifacts and some blocking around the bottom of the kegs. And then the gentleman on the right sitting in the chair, his shoes are, but they don't kind of fall away like the other shoes do. They're a bit brighter. So there's a couple of technical things that kept me in silver distinction, not a terrible score. But maybe I can forgive those because it's such a beautiful frame and it's been well crafted.
Okay, The middle, yep. Tanya?
So I was on 93. Yeah, what a magnificent image. I don't feel the mafia vibe. I just feel that they're all very present and they're very comfortable with who they are, and the photographer and the connection between each other, and the photographer is so relaxed and powerful that there's this beautiful connection for us as the viewers to witness this image. And there's such a beautiful balance with the two sets of lights, with a similar number of lights to the faces, which are all, and those faces, I guess they reflect in all the lights above. There's just lots of just subtle symmetry. Just such a clever, beautiful image. I'm happy to go up to gold distinction.
Okay. Yeah, Stacey?
I put this on 92 straight into the gold as well. Really, really, really powerful, and love the fact that all of these guys are really engaging with the photographer and pulling their own portraits. They're all posed really great. They're all really strong characters. But the fact that we're still see that we're connected to a wedding venue with the pretty twinkly lights at the top. The only thing that stopped me going up even a little bit higher is that there seems to be like a plastic bottle on the left-hand side, on the back, and I was a little bit thrown by that. Maybe it's not, but maybe you can explain what it is. But yeah, really, this got me really excited, so I'm certainly listening.
Okay. Catherine, anything to add, or?
I gave this 93, and we haven't really talked much about the guy in the frame. Maybe that's obvious, but I love that the narrative in this image, that these guys were all getting together to honour the groom, and this man couldn't be there. We've talked about the fact that all the expressions and the poses are strong, but I just want to emphasise too that guy on the end, you travel across the group and they are all very, very strong in the pose and in the expression. They're really, really bringing it, and I just love that full stop of the guy at the end with his hand straight down on the barrel and the beard. He's a really strong finish to what's already a very strong lineup. So yeah, I'm happy to come up too.
Okay, Johan, back to you.
What I also appreciate about this image is the inclusion of the non-bridal party people who aren't wearing flowers, particularly the one thuggish-looking character who's number 3 along, whose tie is not crooked, his thing's just open. He's just come from a brawl, perhaps, or something. No, I'm just saying that. No, he's got his own. Everybody has their own individual energy. I'm willing to forgive the wine stains on the front of the barrels, yeah, the plastic bottle, it's a plastic bottle and it shouldn't be there, and naughty. But I'm still going to ask you for a 90-something big, like a over 5, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, judges, let's rescore. $96, gold distinction. Okay, congratulations to the photographer. Thank you to the judges for all their considerate comments. And can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 75, which is a bronze award. And can I have a comment for the photographer, please? Looking at, yep, Jeremy.
Yeah, congratulations. This is a great little moment. I love that the fact that you can't see the groom or much of the bride is that information is given to us in the shadow. I particularly love the set of jocks over his right shoulder hanging on the clothesline there. That was a nice touch, and I'm glad that they didn't move to hide those. So I've got more questions than answers about this little union, and I love it. Well done.
Okay, thank you for the comments there, Jeremy. And we're just going to do a change. Catherine, you can take a break. We'll bring in our other Catherine. Okay, so can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 76, which is a bronze award. Go on, Johan.
Okay, who didn't laugh when they went up there? Who didn't think that was just a little bit naughty? Who wasn't engaged by that element of it? And for that purpose, I gave this an 82. There's a lot of other issues that come in. The oval frame's a bit tight. The colour is a little bit flat. But there's awesome detail in both the suit and the dress. And where the action's happening, you can see exactly what you need to see and laugh with it.
Jeremy, thoughts at the other end of the screen?
Yeah, I was just short of an award. I couldn't suspend my disbelief. It just felt a little bit too contrived for me. And for that, I was chasing, my eyes were chasing around the scene, trying to lock into something, and I found it very difficult. And probably the strongest was the smile on the flower girl to the left, but that's all that I got from her. And I just couldn't land on the boy. I suspect he's supposed to be winging against the fence. And then there's a nice moment between the bride and groom, but I just kept going back to the little girl and her lips, and I just found myself jumping around a little bit too much.
Okay, the middle ground was pretty tight. Can I ask maybe Catherine for a comment?
Yeah, I was only just in bronze, and it really, I sort of sit with Jeremy on this one. Great expressions, but there's nothing that's really holding my eye in there. And there's some bright points above both the bride and the groom's head, which pull me away again. And I do feel like there's almost a desaturation of the grass to stop our eye from going down there, but instead it pulls me down to a greyness. So I've gone into bronze for the humour, and I'm quite comfortable there.
Okay, any other thoughts? All right, looks like it's back to you, Johan.
I hear the comments from my fellow judges. If we could squeak another point out, that'd be awesome. Just solely for the fun of it, and see what you can do.
Okay, let's read score. $76, bronze award. Good conversation anyway. Okay, thank you. And next image, please. We have a score of 73. Okay. Can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Looking down the line there. Who haven't I picked on for a while? I can't see. Stacey.
Pick on me. Yeah, it's a great idea to use that mirror to create that portrait of the groom. It just adds another depth and dimension to it. So wonderfully seen there. But I guess to bring it into award range, I'd be looking for a little something more than a standard pose or just a flat expression to elevate it a bit more.
Okay, thank you for the comments. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 71. Can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Jeremy?
Yeah, I was right on the average there. I think the scenery is competing too much with the bride and groom. The position of them, when I get to them, I just want to keep looking through and down to the background. And then when I come back into them, the rocks on the right really pull me over that way as well. So I just think there's too many competing moments in here, and possibly looking at a different angle might have helped just lock them into being the central focus.
Okay, thank you for the comment there, Jeremy. And next image, please. We have a score of 76, which is a bronze award. Okay, can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Okay. Jeremy, were you poking your head out?
Congratulations on your award. I think just there's a little bit of a lacking connection between the two of them, and possibly that would have elevated it a little bit more. But pretty hard to pick on this photo. It's a beautiful scene. The timing was amazing, getting the birds through the frame as well. So congratulations.
Okay, thank you for the feedback there, Jeremy. And next image, please. Okay, we've got a score of 72. Yep. And can I get a comment for, Catherine?
Yeah, there's a really lovely moment to be found in amongst this scene. it is quite hard to see the fullness of that moment with the groom's shoulder up like that. I think the blurring is an effective, potentially effective, but it's quite overpowering and overbearing to the rest of the scene. So I think there's an exploration worth going further with here, but it just needs to lose a little bit of what's around it so that we can bring our eye into that moment stronger.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. And we're just going to do a change for judges. Jeremy, take a break so we know that Matt's coming in now. Australian swap, team out, team in. Good to go? Okay, can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 75, which is a bronze award. Can I get a comment for the photographer, Johan?
I think this image particularly works in black and white. It allows for a symmetry or an asymmetry even as well. It would have been stronger, and congratulations on the bronze award. It would have been stronger if the bride's reflection had given us a full bride rather than just a truncated on the side. And I'm not sure if that would have been a tweaking of the mirror or a moving of the bride. And that would have added an element of greater interest.
Thank you, Johan. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 74. Okay, and Johan, is that a challenge? Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So we're on a cusping situation. I'd like to bring it up to a bronze. I gave it a 77. I think because the way the photographer has framed the groom separately from the rest of the crowd, and kind of the contradiction, but also the junction of the sets of emotions on each side. You know, that crowd is so happy to see her and potentially her father or her escort. And the groom is happy, but he's happy with tears. And it's an obvious thing, but the photographer has framed it carefully, hasn't included too many of the people in the crowd, has let us focus in to where we need to focus. The detail in the dress is held. The dress itself is held within the frame. And I think the photographer has done a very good job of containing this and presenting it back to us. Yeah, I'm just asking for one teensy-weensy more mark to bring this into a bronze.
Okay, I'll go to Stacey first. Yep.
I scored this at 71, and I do really appreciate that the expressions of joy on the grooms, on the people watching are absolutely lovely, but they're just such a small part of what's going on in the story. And I feel that I'm constantly drawn to the back of the dad and the back of the dress, where there isn't much going on, and I'm also constrained by that really tight crop as well. So I don't feel like I'm being led to where the joyful action is. I feel like we potentially could have got some more of the story, but with a slightly different framing, and even if it was a little bit closer in, but still understood that he was walking with a walker and things, but just seen more of that joyful reactions, and that would have brought me into a ward range.
Tanya, you were supporting this image?
Yeah, I was in support at 77 as well. I would have gone even higher if there was a little bit more space above and perhaps to the side or below. But I really am, I do feel connected with when I see the groom and the joy in the faces like you've mentioned. I think it's worthy of rewarding it for the emotional narrative.
Okay. Any other thoughts? No? Okay, looks like it's back to you, Johan.
Yep. The fact that you've noticed, do we call him the father? Or,
Call him whatever you like.
or his shirt in particular. The fact that it stands out to you brings your attention to him, and then you get the rest of that story with the walker and the guiding arm from the bride. Should potentially have been the other way around. Not the walker, but the guiding arm. And so him being a block of bright colour with tone, with curvature, being dressed up as much as he can be comfortably in that circumstance. Also, the flow of the dress on the back, it brings you up rather than takes you out. And it brings you to that place. It frames the area where the groom is and lets you focus in there. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm just asking for a little. Or if you like. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's rescore. Okay, 90. Waiting for that pizza. 76, bronze award. Okay. Sure, the photographer happy with that discussion. Thank you very much. And next image, please. We have a score of 73. So can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Tanya?
Yeah, a joyous moment between the couple. Just what could it bring this image a little bit higher is just a bit more detail in the bride and her skin tone and her clothing, and perhaps just consider how much to show in the surroundings so that it's not too busy.
Okay, thank you for the comment there, Tania. And you can take a break, actually. Nicola, if you want to come in. Okay, next image, please. Okay, we're a score of 81, silver award. Okay, can we get a comment for the photographer, please? Somebody? Okay. Nicola, go.
Yeah, I thought this was really creative and yeah, just a high level of imagination. So yeah, well done to them. I'm just a little bit torn as to what the story sort of is. I guess they're kind of hanging in this together. But it's a really beautiful image, and yeah, congratulations on your silver.
Okay, thank you for the comments there. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 81, which is a silver award. Matt, you'd like to challenge that?
Yeah, let's have a chat. I gave it, scored it into the next range, a silver distinction. I felt that it was highly original in terms of its presentation. I really appreciated that it not only captured the couple, kind of in a macabre way, a little bit like Magician and Assistant or something like that. The intensity of the groom's eyes in that second picture is really unusual and interesting, but I feel like that really represents this couple. And then you've got the full wedding day represented, and the green and the red transition down the bottom, pulling it together with the rose that's featured in both of the portraits. So I just felt like it was very unique. It was interesting. It was it's appropriate to the couple, showcases their personality, and so I rewarded it into silver distinction.
Okay, Catherine, thoughts at the other end? Yeah, sorry. Yep.
Yeah, I was on 76, and it's been a long time since I saw The Phantom of the Opera, but I'm thinking it may be in reference to that, or I find it is innovative and creative, but I look at the collection of images as a whole, because that's how it's being presented to us, and I don't feel like, as you sort of take the timeline of the day around, and I'm trying to find and understand a reference for why they are there in relation to the sheet of music and the two portraits in the middle. And other than the fact that this presents the day as a whole, I don't see a reason for them being presented all together as one. And it's a lot to look at all at the same time. So, yeah, I'm in bronze at the moment. I'll just keep listening and seeing what else others have to say.
Johan, thoughts from the middle?
Yes, I gave this a silver at 82, and I don't know if I can come up much higher, but I'm loving the concept where they've used their day as a frame to contain their life as performers, perhaps. I read the music, but I couldn't remember what song it was from, but I'm assuming it's from The Phantom of the Opera. The Phantom of the Opera, I believe, is a tragedy, but it's a love tragedy. And I just keep getting stuck on his unhappiness. And I'm not sure, I don't necessarily want him to be cheesy, but I want to feel that he is involved and engaged with her, and somehow that relation happens, but I'm not feeling it in his body language, and I'm not seeing it in his face, and so I'm feeling kind of heartfully disappointed, but I'm very happy to give it a silver for innovation.
Nicola?
Yeah, so some of the words that were around it says, no more talk of darkness. And in the first image, he's wearing the mask, and then he has it off in the second image. So I'm thinking maybe he's more himself or happiest with her. Maybe, yeah, most of the time he's wearing a mask for people, and feels like he can be his true self with her, maybe. Thinking it might be the story. But yeah, it is a lot to look at, but yeah, I think it's a really creative way of presenting this to us.
Stacey, quickly. Yep.
I put this in the bronze range too, for its unique presentation and creativity, and of this couple's of interest or passion. But I was really conflicted by the two main photos. She's obviously smiling in that second photo, which is quite joyful, and he doesn't. I don't. If he's really into the Phantom of the Opera side of things, then maybe he doesn't need to be smiling. But I feel he's really dominant with his arm across her, and I felt quite uneasy. And instead of it being a joyful moment, I felt it was just quite a controlling or domineering moment, and that was what kept me down in that range.
Okay, Matt, back to you.
Yeah, I'll address one part of that, and that is that it is a lot to look at, and I feel like this is going to be an artwork that's in their house, and it's not for them to take in everything all at once. It's for them to stumble across little memories every single time they look at this. They'll see something different. So perhaps in an awards context, we might not appreciate how it might be valued in future. I agree with you on his expression. I felt like that was part of the theatrics of it, but I also understand in a wedding context you do want a little bit more engagement. So yeah, I think it's already a silver, but a few more points would be great.
Okay, judges, let's rescore. Okay, you brought it up to 82, silver award. Okay, congratulations to the photographer. Thank you, judges. Next image, please. We have a score of 74. Matt, like to challenge that?
Yeah, I just got it into bronze, and we're talking about 1 point, so we may as well have a chat. I felt like the panoramic worked really well to lead you from the helicopter, where they've come from, to where they are, and the revealing of the little book held by the third figure sets the scene for this ceremony, and I think it's held quite beautifully. There is one little thing that held me from going higher, and that is that little cloud hanging out in the top left corner. If the photographer had handled that, I might have scored it a little higher. But while this isn't the most dramatic weather, this is exactly what the couple would have dreamt for their wedding day, and I think this captures it beautifully. I'm in bronze.
Johan, you're at the lower end.
There we go. I gave it a 72. I understand the relevance of the helicopter. Yes, it explains how they got there, but I think it's not significant or important to the intent of the image, and I feel that the image should really be about as much their isolation in this beautiful environment, including the celebrant. And so my feeling was to crop some of the foreground out maybe and the side of the hill, because you look at the bride and you see the guy in the black, then you look to the bride and groom, and you're actually reading it from right to left. And as you follow that line up, you end up in this massive, super bright cloud. And if we could crop that out, that would get rid of your naughty cloud, and it would just take your eye away from that brightness and let you float around that beautiful lake, these guys there. You could keep the panoramic aspect by just reducing the bottom foreground and trimming that side off, because that mountain just takes me out of there. Yeah, but keep talking.
Okay, everybody else is on the same score. Catherine, yep, can you word for the middle?
Yeah, I was on right on 74 with this, and I agree with both of you. I feel that there are some other aspects with the framing where the celebrant is slightly higher up, where the lake comes up higher. I think as you pull back from it, there is some parts of the framing that I actually do appreciate a little bit more. I feel at 74 that I'm happy to see this go into an awards range. It does feel a little bit like it's got that sort of documentary feel to it as an expanse. And I do like the isolation of the couple and the distancing from the celebrant. And obviously that's a scene moment. However, I still think that it gives me the feeling of what it is like for this couple to be in that epic landscape, and I think it delivers from that perspective at a bronze award level.
Okay, back to you, Matt.
Yeah, thank you for your comments. In terms of the foreground, I agree with you. It probably could be trimmed a little, but I don't mind the amount of foreground that there is, because I feel like this is a really quiet moment, and space gives quietness, and I feel like that is contributing to that quiet feel of it. It just allows you to slowly come into them rather than having them closer to the edge of frame. I agree with you also on the white cloud there, but I feel like, I guess the priority when they were taking this shot was to include the helicopter, because that was part of their experience of being there. And from back here, I can't even see the helicopter. You only see that when you're right up beside it. So I feel like the helicopter's a nice little tidbit that you can see if you want to, but then from a distance you don't see it all. So it really comes down to that white cloud there. Yeah, I'm in bronze. I hope you can find your way into that realm as well.
Okay, judges, let's rescore. Okay, you've done it. 76, bronze award. Okay, now we're just going to give... Go ahead, take a break. Tony, come on in. Radio. Okay, next image, please. We have a score of 78, which is a bronze award. Yeah, Tony, you got priority, but it's up to you guys which one takes it.
Oh, now I have to go with that. I'm on 88. 88's got lots of nice roundy shapes, just like this image that we're staring at now. So, but yeah, 88 for me. But for the love and the originality in this, though, your eye just rolls down through that, and you sort of look at them, starting with nothing, then back to back, and then the love tree, and then intimate and together. Yeah, I think it's quite unique and something that I haven't really seen put together like this, especially in a wedding category. So I thought it was quite nicely handled and just something a little bit different and worthy of a silver distinction. So,
Stacey, thoughts from the other end of the scoring?
I scored this 73, and I think I just felt quite confused by it, really. I really appreciate the double exposures, and particularly the bottom one where the couple are together. And I really liked the love tree, as you called it, Tony, but I wasn't quite sure sort of where that came from, if it was off a card and photographed, or and I quite enjoyed the unique presentation of the ovals on top of each other, piled up a little bit like stones. So it's great to be able to talk about this. I've probably been too harsh, but I'd really love some more explanation and for you to give me some really great reasons why to come up, because I feel like it's there, but I'm maybe just missing the point.
Matt?
So I scored it into silver. I didn't quite figure out 100% of the story, but I get the feeling of like birth or something new, just as you did, and then two separate figures coming together, and it also represents their family through the tree as well there in the third frame. But I think it's also important to acknowledge that not every couple that gets married necessarily wants to look at themselves all the time. Some people want to have something that connects them to their wedding, but isn't just a literal sense of themselves. So I feel like this image, potentially working with the couple, is something that describes how they felt on the day or how they feel about each other. And when they look at it, they can see themselves, but without the literal sense of themselves. So I think in that sense, it's a really creative and interesting artwork.
Okay, any other thoughts? Looks like it might be back to you, Tony. Oh, sorry, Nicola. Yep, sorry, I didn't see your hand.
Yeah, I was just a little bit confused at the beginning, but I wasn't sure if it needed both the images of the couple. I think maybe 3 might have worked just as well. But and the egg shape, I guess it's maybe representing new beginnings. But they've got a really nice, I was a bit stingy on 76, so I'm happy to come up. They've got a nice original piece of artwork for their wall. The trees obviously got the fingerprints and stuff of their guests. It'd be really cool to chuck something else on the wall instead of just a boring shot of you staring at the camera. I think it's a bit more interesting than that. So well done.
Okay, back to you, Tony.
Yeah, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of intrigue, and something completely different. Not sure if you're going to come up to where I am, but come up as high as you can.
Okay, judges, let's rescore. Okay, brought it up to 83, silver award. Congratulations to the photographer. Thank you, judges. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 72. Can we get a comment for the photographer? Yep, Matt.
Yeah, a beautiful grand setting for a wedding portrait. It gives a sense of place and also where she is. What could improve it is her gaze is down behind her towards the trail of her wedding dress, and that's also the part of the wedding dress that where the whites are starting to be lost on those details. So it's really important to capture all of those details through the whites in this kind of photo.
Okay, thanks for the comments there, Matt. And Stacey, you can take a break. And Rebecca, come on in. Okay, next image, please. We have a score of 85, silver distinction. Okay, pretty tight scoring. Can I get a comment from the, yeah, is that Matt's hand? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this turned into a really powerful portrait. The darkness of the background and then the brightness and luminosity of her. This makes everything about her. I feel like the mirroring isn't necessarily needed. I feel maybe the photographer has included it because it does create a diamond shape and that reflects onto the wedding theme. But I feel like she's powerful enough on her own in this image. Congrats on the silver distinction.
Okay, thank you for the comments there, Matt. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 75, which is a bronze award. Can I get a comment? Yeah, Catherine?
Yeah, congratulations on your bronze. Beautiful expression on the groom here. He just looks so in love. I would love to see a little bit more softness through the bride's arm. I just feel like she's clenching a little bit, just needs a little bit more relax and softness. I think the circular crop is working really successfully here as well.
Okay, thank you, Catherine, for the comment. Next image, please. We have a score of 80, silver award. Oh. Tony, want to challenge that?
I scored it at 86. I thought it was up into that next level. I mean, you know, the feeling of what's going on here and the swirling lines are, you know, around them and their expressions through that. I think it's it's obviously a sort of posed moment, but then, you know, that's the beauty of being a wedding photographer, isn't it? Getting people into a situation where they can make something happen. So that's what this energy is all about, and I think that's what, as photographers with weddings, when it's not happening naturally, you have to find a way of making it happen, and I think this is handled quite well. The highlights are popping a little bit too much, but, you know, the rest of the tonality is beautiful, but it's all about this expression, beautiful body language, and a court moment that's been made to happen, but done very successfully.
Rebecca, you're at the lower end of things.
I actually scored this a 75 bronze and love the energy,
that's why I awarded it in the bronze category. I actually thought that the love heart made from the champagne, or we're in the creative wedding category, so I perhaps, may have assumed that that was a post-production technique and it just goes straight through her head. And so I was sort of hoping that it would frame her and that could have been helped just a little bit there. I think it's a brilliant moment, and you're right about the highlights. that just cuts her off. Just anyway, I'm listening though.
Catherine?
I was on 84, and I'm in support of this. That love heart is lovely, and I think that if it was, it probably doesn't matter because the intent behind it, if it was edited or not, it's almost irrelevant here because it's there, and it is a love heart, and it's subtle, but it's present still. She's framed. It's still wisping over her head. And I think that's funny, and it gives us the humour there. I love his stance, how he's planted, how she's cuddled into him, and it just, it oozes with fun. And so I'm more than happy to come up to the next scoring range.
Okay, any other thoughts? Looks like it's back to you, Tony. Yep.
I think Catherine's said it all, and hopefully one or two others can follow us up into the next distinction range and give it a silver distinction. Thank you.
Okay, let's rescore. Nice work, 85. Silver distinction. Okay, congratulations to the photographer. Thank you, judges, for your comments and thoughts. Can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 72. Can I get a comment for the photographer? Looking down the line there. Tony, is that leaning forward?
All the elements are here, for a successful image, and you've sort of captured them in their love quite nicely. You just sort of want to sort of wait for a moment for the swan to sort of move over to the left or something, so all the elements have their own space. And also just maybe the time of the day has not been, very kind on them lighting-wise. But yeah, definitely all the elements are there for a great picture.
Okay, thank you for the comments, Tony. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 75, bronze award. A comment to the photographer, please. Down the line there. I'm going to pick on Matt, right? Oh, no. Nicola, are you on your hand up. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on your bronze. Really nicely, every element has been placed quite nicely in the frame, and it goes right back into the middle there with about 3 different road workers down the road staring back at these guys. So it's quite, it's quite playful and fun actually. Any improvements? Not really sure, but I just really enjoyed it, and congratulations on your bronze.
Okay. All right, thank you for the comment. And can we have the next image, please? We have a score of 86, silver distinction. Can I get a comment for the photographer, please? Matt? Yep, go for it.
Yeah, the couple are framed beautifully within this building. The lines point back towards the couple. They're glowing as they should be on their wedding day. The trees in the background are nice and moody and kind of support the warmth of what's going on inside this venue. And then you've got the city glow in the distance just to give you the sense of place of where they are. So I think it's been very successful. Congratulations on the award.
Okay, thank you, Matt. And that is your 2026 Creative Wedding category. All right, big thank you to our judges, the audience here in the auditorium and online. Thank you to the print handlers earlier on and everybody else out the back on honours, etc. Thank you to my panel chair, assistant here, and good night.
And thank you, Paul.